So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about two very interesting stories for the PlayStation 5. One I care about a lot, which is a possible update on PlayStation VR 2, which we've been covering here on the channel. And the second story is focused on Sony possibly buying out Ubisoft because apparently they are a possible target for a buyout. First, let me know if you managed to secure a PlayStation 5 today or are going to secure a PlayStation 5 today. I've already started getting messages from people thanking me for helping them secure a PlayStation 5, which of course you are all welcome for, but I really just relayed information. You guys did the hard work, so comment below. Did you secure a PlayStation 5 or are you going to secure a PlayStation 5 today? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, PlayStation VR 2. I am beyond excited for PlayStation VR 2 and the possibilities of what it could bring. I really feel that for people who haven't tried virtual reality yet, they won't understand that immersion level you get from playing in virtual reality. This to me is the true next generation, next level of gaming. And last time we spoke about PlayStation VR 2, I believe we discussed the device's possible hand tracking video, which was an official video from Sony. It showed off full finger tracking, and now we seem to have gotten what the PSVR 2 controller could possibly look like. Here are the details. Reading from website Let's Go Digital. In March 2020, Sony Interactive Entertainment filed a patent for an input device. The patent was published on September 24th, 2020. From the 34-page documentation, it becomes clear that it is a tracking controller with a handle. It is a compact device that you can put your hand in for a better grip. You can use one or two controllers, one in each hand. The idea is a bit like Sony's VR motion controller, but in terms of design, it looks like the VR touch controller from Oculus. There is a sturdy handle and there are several controls on the controller that you can operate with your thumb and index finger. Think of a joystick and several physical buttons. Optionally, a touch sensor and a trigger button can also be fitted, as stated in the patent description. The user must wear a virtual reality headset with a front-facing camera similar to the PSVR 2 headset reported by Let's Go Digital in October last year. The controller is provided with several light-emitting parts that are placed on the curved surface. These light-emitting parts are detected by the camera of the VR headset. An image sensor with visible light or infrared can be used for this. The position of the motion controller can be accurately determined using this information. The image information obtained by the camera is then sent to the game console so that it can be processed directly in the game's images. Alternatively, a separate camera can also be used. Think of the PlayStation 4 camera. Although all patent images show a curved controller, it is stated in the description that you can also choose a straight rod shape or a ring shape. So basically, from what I'm seeing here, PlayStation VR 2 seems to be a combination of the Oculus Quest and the Valve Index. We've heard this thing will be wireless like the Oculus Quest, and like the Quest, it has multiple cameras on the headset for proper tracking, as opposed to PlayStation VR 1, which relied pretty much on the PS4 camera. And in terms of the controller, to me, it looks more like the Valve Index controller versus the Oculus Touch controller, with the Index controller being probably the best controller for virtual reality on the market currently. To me, the ideal situation for PlayStation VR 2 is if I could use it anywhere like the Oculus Quest and play games at a lower quality, but when I get home, I can wirelessly link my PlayStation VR 2 to the PlayStation 5 to use the full power of the console to upgrade visuals and performance all around. That would probably be the best VR headset on the market, and if Sony put it at the rumored price of $250 USD, the competition will be very intense. But you guys let me know if you're excited for the possibilities for PlayStation VR 2 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the second story of the video, Sony to buy Ubisoft. So the story comes from French website The Capital, who state, and this is a translation, but they state, after having already been one of the few stocks to escape the general decline in equities yesterday, Ubisoft gained 3.38% to 75.26 euros, one of the largest increases in the SBF 120 index due to its status as a potential target. The Ubisoft title is supported by speculation about its future as the industry's concentration continues. Indeed, after the buyout of Bethesda, what will be the reaction of Sony or even more so, Google or Amazon? So the basic gist here is there was an uptick in stock for Ubisoft, which the article points is a result of Ubisoft speculated to be a target for a buyout. They point out Sony, Google, or Amazon as possible companies, I assume because all three are in the gaming industry, with PlayStation, Google Stadia, and more recently, Amazon Luna. But let's look at the possibility of Sony actually buying Ubisoft. We first have to start with the Vivendi story. Ubisoft was going to be taken over by Vivendi a few years back. It was a big story in the industry. Ubisoft was valued at $6.4 billion back then. The Vivendi story was basically continuous buying of shares on Vivendi's part, but the important part here is CEO Yves Guillemot's statement at E3 2016, where he stressed the importance that Ubisoft remain an independent company to maintain its creative freedom. He also stated that Vivendi was a company that had a different philosophy than Ubisoft, which would affect what they're creating. Both companies then struck a deal in 2018 to stop the overall takeover. In terms of creative freedom, I think Sony would be a perfect home for Ubisoft since they allow developers to make what they want. But what about financially? Ubisoft today is worth $10 billion according to analytics website Macro Trends. They also report Sony is worth $96 billion, but Sony's cash on hand, which is what they could use to buy Ubisoft, is $33 billion. So financially, Sony is capable of buying out the company, Ubisoft, but let's think realistically. Sony has shut down multiple studios and it took them forever to buy out Insomniac Games, who were already seemingly a first-party studio. They have crafted a solid line of studios that produce top quality games at this point. Sony is very intentional with their purchases, and buying Ubisoft and taking on their 18,000 employees doesn't seem like something Sony would do, but at the same time, they were reported to have intentions of buying company Liu, which have five development studios under them, not as big as Ubisoft, but obviously still something. Sony is financially capable of buying Ubisoft, but it seems their current strategy is buying exclusive games from companies like Final Fantasy 16 or what happened with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. And realistic buyouts currently would probably be for Bluepoint Games and Housemarque going forward. We also know Sony is building up another official but yet to be announced studio in San Diego, bringing their total studio roster to about 17 if you include XDev, compared to Microsoft's 23 studios. But again, quantity doesn't beat quality. We'll see how Microsoft's next big games turn out, and if Microsoft does intend to make another big studio purchase, I would think Sony has to come back in some way. And remember, they have money they wanted to use to buy out Liu, whom are worth $1.1 billion, so that money would probably have to go somewhere as well. But you guys let me know if you think Sony should buy Ubisoft or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "The buyout wars begin," because it's clear that there's things going on in the background, that Microsoft is trying to buy more studios and they already bought Bethesda. Sony's rumored to buy studios, so it's probably going to be a very interesting generation. And if you're excited for the next generation, destroy the comment section with "The buyout wars begin," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.